As we grow older, we expect peace with our children. After all the years of sacrifice, the sleepless nights, the long days working so they could have a better life, we hope that old age will bring gratitude and closeness. Yet, some of you have heard the cruelest words from the very mouths you once fed. You were a bad mother. You were never there as a father. Those words cut deeper than any physical pain because they feel like a judgment on your entire life. It hurts, not because you believe you failed, but because deep down, you know you did the best you could with the tools, the knowledge, and the circumstances you had at the time. No parent is perfect, but being told you were bad can make all those years of effort feel invisible. Welcome back to Journey After 60. Today, this video isn't about denying their pain or pretending mistakes were never made. It's about something far more powerful: how to respond with wisdom, how to stay calm in the storm, and how to prove through your words and actions that love always runs deeper than judgment. If any of this speaks to your heart, don't just scroll away. Save this video for the nights when those words echo too loudly. Share it with a friend who might need the same encouragement. And subscribe so you don't walk this path alone. Now, let's begin with the very first way to handle these painful accusations. One shift in how you listen that can change the entire conversation with your children. Number 1. Choose listening over defending. When your children accuse you of being a bad parent, the most powerful response is not a long explanation or a raised voice. It's listening. In old age, you no longer have to prove every choice you made decades ago. What carries more weight now is showing your children that their feelings matter, even when their words hurt. From the experiences I've gathered in my own research, one truth stands out. Seniors who practice calm listening instead of rushing to defend themselves often build stronger, lasting bonds with their adult children. In fact, a 2020 survey published in the Journal of Family Communication found that 68% of adult children were more willing to soften their judgment and even reconcile when they felt their parents truly listened to their perspective. What's striking is that this shift happened even when the parent didn't admit to every mistake. The act of listening alone changed the atmosphere. Listening doesn't mean you agree with the accusations. It simply shows that you value the relationship more than winning the argument. And that choice, supported by both research and countless real-life stories, often leaves a deeper impression on your children than any defensive explanation ever could. When those painful words come, you don't need to rush into explanations. A short pause, a steady breath, and a gentle question like, "What makes you feel this way?" can shift the whole tone of the conversation. You don't have to explain every decision from decades ago. Often, it's your calm presence that lingers in their memory longer than any argument could ever. And with time, many children look back realize their words were too harsh, and regret often takes the place of anger. Listening is not weakness. It is quiet strength. It turns painful accusations into moments of reflection your children will carry long after the conversation ends. And while listening is the first step to disarming hurtful words, the next step is even more important: learning how not to carry their anger as your permanent burden. Number 2, release the weight of guilt. Over the years, I've spoken with many seniors who confessed that the harshest words from their children didn't just hurt in the moment. They stayed alive in their minds for weeks, months, even years. Instead of fading, guilt became a shadow that followed them into every conversation. This hidden burden often does more damage to a parent's peace than the accusation itself. Some parents told me they avoided calling their children for fear of being reminded of the past. Others stopped sharing their stories or giving advice, worried every word would be judged as another mistake. In this way, the accusation doesn't just wound once, it rewrites how they see themselves as parents, stripping away confidence and replacing it with hesitation. The tragedy is that the child may have already moved on, but the parent continues to relive the moment over and over. And that cycle of silent suffering becomes far heavier than the words that first caused it. So, when accusations reopen old wounds, resist the urge to carry them endlessly. Write them down, reflect, and then release them. If you need to, speak a simple phrase aloud. I accept my past, but it doesn't define my worth today. Over time, this practice lightens your heart and allows your children to see that their words don't imprison you, they refine you. If you've ever caught yourself replaying those painful words again and again, save this video now so the next time guilt tries to trap you, you'll have a reminder that your past does not define your worth. And if letting go of guilt is the second key, the next one is even more surprising, because it isn't about your inner feelings at all, but about how you set the tone for respect in every conversation that follows. Number 3, set clear boundaries with respect. There comes a point in life when we realize that love without respect slowly loses its meaning. Boundaries are not walls that separate us from our children. They are mirrors that teach them how love should be carried between generations. If we never draw the line, they may never learn that affection can coexist with accountability. True wisdom in old age is knowing that saying enough is not rejection. It is a way of preserving dignity for both sides. And in time, many children come to regret the moments when they confused silence with weakness, only to discover later that respect was the greatest gift their parents had to offer. My neighbor, Mr. Howard, is 74 years old and has always been a kind, quiet man. Yet his son often argued with him, even calling him selfish when old resentments surfaced. For years, Mr. Howard stayed silent, thinking that was the only way to keep peace. But the more he kept quiet, the more disrespect grew, leaving him feeling smaller in his own home. One day, he decided to change his approach. The next time his son raised his voice, Mr. Howard calmly said, "I want to hear you, but I won't continue if I'm insulted." Then he stepped outside and sat in his garden. To his surprise, this firm but gentle boundary worked. Over time, his son lowered his tone, arguments became shorter, and respect slowly returned. Mr. Howard told me later, setting limits didn't push him away. It actually brought him closer, because he realized love doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. So, the next time a conversation turns harsh, don't respond with silence or anger. Respond with a boundary. Boundaries aren't walls to push people away. They're doors that open to healthier dialogue. And when your children see you stand calmly in your self-respect, it may be the very moment they begin to see you not as a bad parent, but as a person worthy of honor. Have you ever had to set a boundary with your children or family? Share your story in the comments, because your experience might help another parent find the courage to do the same. Boundaries teach our children that love and respect must walk together, but some may argue that setting limits risks pushing them further away. The truth is, what truly pushes people away is not boundaries, but bitterness. And that's why the next step isn't about rules at all. It's about how you quietly rebuild your own inner strength when no one is watching. Number 4. Rebuild your inner strength. There is a truth that old age makes clear. The world outside may never fully understand you, but the strength you carry within can decide whether you live the rest of your days in bitterness or in peace. When your children's words cut deep, the temptation is to replay them endlessly, allowing anger or sadness to erode your spirit. Yet the only way forward is not to wait for their apology, but to rebuild your own foundation from the inside out. In the later chapters of life, waiting for others to make things right often leaves the heart restless. Children may or may not apologize, and some wounds may never be spoken of again. But peace cannot be delayed until the world changes. It must be cultivated within. Inner strength is like a quiet well. You draw from it each time you choose patience over anger, dignity over despair. And in the silence of those choices, you discover something liberating. Even if the world misunderstands you, you still hold the power to shape your own peace. When the weight of accusations feels too heavy, the answer is not to argue harder. It is to care for the part of yourself that no one else can see. Begin by creating small rituals each day that restore your calm. In the morning, before the world grows noisy, write down 3 simple things that bring you comfort. A warm cup of tea, the sound of birds outside, or the memory of a kind word from a friend. Take a short walk, not to exercise your body only, but to let your thoughts settle and breathe fresh air. If faith has always been your anchor, spend a few quiet minutes in prayer or reflection. These practices may seem small, but they slowly rebuild a shield inside you. The more consistently you nurture your inner world, the less power hurtful words from the outside will have over your peace. And now we've come to the part where everything comes together, the place where I gather all the lessons we've walked through and reflect on what they truly mean for our lives as parents in later years. We've now explored the 4 powerful responses that can change the way you handle painful accusations from your children. Choosing to listen instead of defend. Releasing the heavy weight of guilt. Setting clear and respectful boundaries. And rebuilding the inner strength that no one can take away. The deeper truth is this: being judged by your children does not erase the decades of love, sacrifice, and guidance you've given. As the writer Khalil Gibran once said, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself." Their words may sting, but your worth was never meant to be measured by their anger in a single moment. Before you go, I invite you to reflect. Which of these steps speaks most to your heart today? And which will you practice the next time conflict arises? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your wisdom may be the comfort another parent needs right now. And if this message gave you strength, don't forget to like, save, and subscribe. Together, we can keep building a community where aging is not about regret, but about living with dignity, peace, and resilience. Thanks for watching till now, and see you in next video.